All right, you guys, welcome to Astrological Coffee Talk. And I have my coffee with turmeric and ginger in it. And today, and God, I wish I could remember the number. We are in the 40s. This has been the start of the third or fourth year of Coffee Talk. So we're talking about the Aquarius North Node and Leo South Node, the nodes, the karmic nodes of fate. The North Node of the Moon is Rahu. The South Node of the Moon is Ketu, the dragon's tail, and Rahu, the dragon's head. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, break down the chart with the Aquarius Rising, but I want you guys to know that, the North Node is this consuming energy, right? The dragon's head. Remember I told you that both the nodes are really malefics, and in ancient times, they would be indicators of what was to come, and you would see the changing of kings or leaders or people in power, and, sometimes, big markings of death. I had even told you guys, if you watch the Astro weather, which I highly recommend you do, because it really can help you for the week, that the, America, Israel, Iran war, the ceasefires will not hold and it will not end probably to eclipse season, because the three leaders, including the Ayatollah, who they just did the long funeral for, were all born on eclipses, Bibi and Trump as well. And so, I knew these ceasefires wouldn't hold up, right? Even 2 weeks ago, and I saw the square of Mars and Pluto. That was on a Thursday, and that ceasefire kind of ended that Thursday night. And I predicted that in that astro weather. So just, know that the nodes, the North Node is indicating our mission, our purpose, our destiny, where we're headed. It has positives and negatives. The North Node is why we have technology and skyscrapers, why we have buildings, why we have these large things. It wants to expand things, almost like Jupiter, but it wants big things by any means necessary. So it will get there even in a trickster way. It will get there in sometimes unscrupulous ways, but it wants to achieve its mission. Right. And so when you think of mission, purpose, destiny, but it's also can be smoke, illusion, it's considered to be at home in Aquarius. This is a Vedic principle, but it resonates, and I definitely go with that. Um, I don't know. I can't remember if there's a actual literal designation in Western tropical or not. But that would mean, right, it's debilitated in Leo. Um, and then the South Node, I think the South Node is at home in Scorpio, Ketu. Okay. In Vedic, those are the co-rulers where we have Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, right? They just have Jupiter for Pisces, but Rahu would be the equivalent to Uranus, and Ketu would be the equivalent to Pluto. So that can give you a little mental, picture of the energies. And remember the South Node, Ketu and Leo, it cuts, separates, and divides. It will purge and detox and release what is not aligned. The South Node, Ketu, wants everything to be spiritual. The dragon's head, it has no direction. The dragon's tail has no direction. It has no eyes. It can't see anything. It wants everything to be in the spiritual realm, the guru, the monk, spirituality. And it can go through the occult knowledge. It can go through spirituality, meditation, whatever. But when you think about that in Leo, we're talking about releasing the entertainer, releasing the politics, if it's not aligned, releasing the drama, right? So then you think about in this transit, when it hits Jupiter, it's going to expand that. Hollywood breakups, more scandals of politicians that are not acting above reproach. You get what I'm dropping? So this is going to be really fascinating. And that North Node right? The dragon's head, Rahu, it is not only consuming, but it wants things to be in Aquarius what? Scientific. What's the data? What's the research? It's not out in the spiritual realm and the ethers like Pisces, but it's out in the stars and cosmos that are kind of like a little analytical, a little scientific. What's the information say? What's the analytics say? AI. And, you can theorize, and we'll see what the chart shows, that during this time, we may have the shift to the digital cryptocurrency, um, right? Which would be the Fed now, and the battle between centralized currency and decentralized, right? The original thought and dreams of crypto was to be decentralized, not controlled by governments and the Fed and the banks and the reserves, right? These things are really illegal and they're not voted on by us. The IMF, right? The World Bank, all these things. So the Federal Reserve. So that's sort of the battle. And when you think about that in terms of us leaving the Piscean age and headed towards the age of Aquarius, we're going from that age of deception and illusion and confusion and going into the age of I know, truth and revelation, right? Hence, the files of Epi and this and that and all this other stuff. You're going to just get more truth. So this is where if you have any skeletons or lies in your closet, you better get to sweeping and cleaning, because you want to vibrate and live as authentic as you can at this time, and you don't want to deal in lies, and you need to tell your loved ones, whatever you do, just stay honest and truthful and do not lie, because it's all coming to the light. Okay. And we can hope sooner than later, especially with foolishness like the poor kid Nolan Xavier Wells and all that stuff. But we'll see, right? So, okay, we're looking at July 26th. Okay, decided to bring it up in New York, and which universally is the capital of the world, and especially financially. And it's at night, as you can see, 8:48 p.m. Okay, Eastern. So 5:48 p.m. Pacific. Across the pond in London, it's on the 27th. So we'll stay zoomed in, and we're going to just start off with the Aquarius Rising, the ascendant, right? That is where the North Node is. And then we'll, kind of do, Pisces and go clockwise instead of counterclockwise like astrology normally goes. But the nodes go clockwise. So that's why I'm also doing that. There's always a method to my madness. So you see, it comes in at 29, right? Right now, it has been for a few weeks now. It's at 0 degrees Pisces. So this is still here. This is the mean average position. But the thicker line with the T, that's the true node. So this is the time and date when it enters Aquarius. Now, we're looking at this chart overall, but we're looking at Aquarius rising. So it's sort of like a little double entendre as we go around. This will cover for the Aquarius risings. And the only real major aspects, the North Node in Aquarius is kind of squaring Algo in Taurus. Now, we don't have any square really to Scorpio. Angel, I wouldn't consider that so much. The square, you can go from 0 to 5 degree orb. Some astrologers will go up to 7. I like it closer, but 0 to 5 is the most that I would go for the 90-degree angle. The same as I teach in my astrology course, the same modality. Squares have to be either cardinal, mutable, or fixed. This is why I always preach to you guys the whole sign system, because no shade on the Placidus. And, I tell you, whether it's Vedic sidereal, Placidus, equal house, West, whole sign, they're all just tools to get to the truth. But when it comes to aspects and different timing techniques, you want to go to the whole sign system, and ancient astrologers use the whole sign system. So Aquarius to Taurus or Aquarius to Scorpio is a square, right? Because they're all fixed signs. Same with opposition with Leo. Okay. Nothing's opposing it in Leo. Although you do have, well, no, that's the South Node. So that's it. Um, Trine wise, it is close to Ceres and close to Mars. But let's talk about the square to Algo. So Algo is really about the intention of the nodes when we talk about leaders, right? Algo is people coming for your head, people losing their head, right? This is the Greek mythology connecting to Medusa. So that square can talk about revolution, right? And coming for the heads of leaders or people in power. In your own personal chart, you could just think of it as like, maybe the Aquarius rising is, dealing with some issues in the house, and you're just verbally coming for some heads. Maybe mom is like, hey, it could be you towards your mom, or if you're the mom in the house and you just got to like, kind of recalibrate everybody and get everybody in order, but usually it's verbal, but it can be literal. And remember, I tell you guys, we need to know this ancient wisdom to use it for good because they manipulate it and use it for bad. Hence, Uranus entered Gemini. You had that event at the White House with the, kind of like, somebody coming in and trying to shoot or whatever. And, it was awful gazy because you could see Trump, peeping behind a curtain. If it was real, they wouldn't have allowed him to just even be in the vicinity anymore, right? For real safety. So, it's fake. But it's the same thing on the campaign. Leo Rising was Mars, Uranus, conjunct Algo near his midheaven in the 10th house in Pennsylvania, right? The attempt at the ear. There's no damage to his ear. That was, fugazi and kind of boosted his polls and stuff like that. But this is what they do. So that's why you need to know this so you're not deceived. You're not caught up in the illusion. Rahu, Aquarius, North Node, there's going to be a lot of illusion and confusion around Disclosure Day, aliens. So people could say the conspiracy theorists are batting 97% or whatever you want to say, but we've all known that the aliens have been here. They even admitted it, America and England, in articles in the New York Times and different papers during the pandemic. A lot of people missed it because I think it was a Friday news drop. Pay attention to the news on Friday because that's when they always drop a lot of truth that they don't want you to pay attention to because everybody's focused on payday, date night, watching movies, and being caught up in the circus, right? Give them cake and distract them. Give them sports and entertainment. So what this North Node is going to be illuminating, moving towards when it's in the first house, and for this chart, the North Node is asking the Aquarius rising and the collective, what's your friend group? What's your tribe? How are you serving humanity? NGO, right? Nonprofits, philanthropic, environmental work, right? What's the collective energy? As I used to say, everybody should get a slice of pizza and a Snapple. And so I've updated it now to a slice of vegan pizza and some kombucha, right? But Aquarius doesn't want any homelessness. Aquarius is thinking about the purity of the collective, the social network, the groups. This is going to be leading us to these large events. On the negative side, we could think of it as leading us to transhumanism. That's what Elon and Peter Thiel want, right? They want to put chips in all of your heads and your hands. So we have to choose our sovereignty, freedom, liberation, these Aquarius terms, over comfort and convenience. Comfort and convenience and the laziness of humanity will lead us to our own enslavement and entrapment, the road to perdition, right? So just be mindful of that. You guys see it in different stores when you're shopping. Out here, there's the Waymos, and then you see those little robots that are delivering things. You got those all over. I don't know if they have it in every city. It's big in Las Vegas and Arizona, probably some parts of San Francisco and stuff. It's all
They have
over.
them here in Atlanta
Okay,
area.
they do. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and they're supposed to be having a town meeting because we have a lot of Lyft and Uber drivers here, and they got something to say about it.
Yeah. And what you also have to know is that Bezos and Amazon, um, I don't know if you guys heard about the controversy with Ring and some of these lawsuits, right? There's so many of them. Even Apple. Now, because I'm going to be sharing this video, I can't say different things about what Apple's doing, but I'm thinking about getting an Android because there could be some explosive devices in the Apple 17. I have a 16. I don't like it. I'd probably go back to the 15. I will never get a 17. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Do the research and, who's putting stuff in it and stuff like that. Okay. So the Aquarius North Node wants to push forward the freedom and liberation. But is it smoke and mirrors? That's what we have to ask ourselves during this transit, right? Is there too much science, right? We heard during the pandemic, trust the science. But how can you trust the science when a lot of scientists were muted, right? See, a lot of people like to go to Google and make these arguments and this and that and research at DuckDuckGo and Brave and other things. Okay. Truth, what is it? It gets blurred because what hands is it in? Right. And so when you think about Aquarius, Aquarius is very positive in its intention of, I know truth, freedom, liberation, and thinking of the collective and the social network. Where you have to be careful is in the manipulation of the artificial intelligence, right? I tell people use it as a personal assistant, but don't let it use you where your brain becomes numb and dead and you have no more imagination and creativity. There's plenty of people who are complaining about whether it's the artists, whether it's now, you can make a movie, you can make a song, the music industry, the film industry. Those industries are already been so corrupted. And this is what I told you, part of walking into the age of Aquarius, we will have these industries where people do not have to sacrifice loved ones or sell their souls, but it's going to take time. Okay. And so I don't think that's playing out during this transit unless it's this Aquarius North Node hitting Pluto, which is the soul psychology, the pain, trauma, and crises, past lives and childhood, the power, the sex, the abuse. So it could actually change. I don't know if many of you heard of, Instagram starting the vertical films and stuff like that, and people are stepping their toes into it. But, I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. And, you've heard Hollywood filmmakers and directors say, but who's owning this? Who's licensing, right? What are the regulations? In some ways, technology is becoming the wild, wild west. And you've heard different people ask, hey, and you've had different creators from Google and other places step down and say, this AI it's not what you're thinking. This is not good. The crypto's not good, right? There was crypto connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and the files, that he may have been part of starting it. But the transhumanism and, looshing and energy harvesting, it's going to be at a grander scale through the technology. We're about to go to 6G. When I tell you to unplug your internet at night and to get the crystals, the moldavite, the obsidian, and the things to protect your energy, the human body is not meant to have these these frequencies and electronic waves just going through you, especially while you're sleeping and supposed to be healing and restoring your body, you guys. Like you, just like you can go to the gym and exercise, you got to think about that just like you would pray and meditate. You got to think about that with also protecting your energy, wearing copper, wearing EMF protection clothes, wearing shirts that are crystal infused. Like we have to really start to think about this because there's not enough studies and researches, and you couldn't get me to be in a Tesla or any of these cars because they haven't done the real scientific research. And even if they came out with results, would I trust it? Probably not. Because any study, you got to know who's paying for it. You can do science research and get the results that you want, but if you're not in the laboratory with them, right? You're not there, you're not seeing who's funding it, then how can you trust it? That's a leap of blind faith, is it not? So, sometimes, we have a lot of intelligent fools in this world because they think because they have three masters and a doctorate and a PhD and they went to Stanford and Vanderbilt and Duke and Harvard that they know everything. But you have a master's in lies and manipulation of the people in power. If I'm in absolute power, my job is to never let you come to my level, is it not? Because absolute power is going to absolutely corrupt and it's not going to relinquish its power. So when you think about the secret societies, the 13 families, and people in power, do you think they want you on their turf or their playing field? That would be silly to think that. Right. And you also have history. This is what kills me with people because people tend to forget, whether it's, giving people syphilis or whether it's 9/11 or Pearl Harbor or these false flag events or different things. After it happens, people forget. And then they go back to trusting. And then they forget that they've been manipulated and lied to because of some, our bad, some apology. Oh, we missed that. We didn't realize that. We didn't mean to put, not pay to fix the pipes in the water for Flint, Michigan. Oh, oops, we're sorry. Oh, isn't your water clean now? The hell it is. I mean, that's where we've got to stop. Like, we are so, and that's the beauty of human beings. But when you realize, disclosure, Aquarius North Node, that the aliens have always been here. They are us. We are them, right? You all this, starseed. What does that really mean? I mean, the reality is, whether it's Greys or Anunnaki, and you can read the book of Enoch, and you can debate if you think it's aliens or fallen angels or this or that or demons, whatever. We're all hybrids and have been, morphed forever. But when you hear the stories of, Truman being visited and these meetings or whatever, then you have to think, is our government run by human beings or other things? And those are fair questions. And so when you think of the nature of a human being and then see how some people behave, and you think to yourself, well, how could somebody act that way? Or how could they behave that way? Well, maybe because they're inorganic, maybe because they're synthetic, maybe because they're reptilian, maybe because they're Anunnaki, maybe because they're Greys, or maybe because they're alien, or maybe because they're shape-shifting demons. I don't know. But I know, right, as I used to say in college, that I wanted to get my master's and PhD because I wanted to teach a course titled 403 Free Thinking. That is your God-given right. Yeshua said, what? Ye too are gods, will do greater works than thee. The kingdom of God is within you. Right? So we've also been deceived through these books, the Abrahamic religions. This Aquarius North Node is going to be pushing us to a new era. The question is, will we relinquish ourselves to a new paradigm and leader that is putting us in an even deeper cage and enslavement through technology, the power grid, 15-minute cities, through the illusion of science and free energy and free money. Now, the positive thing is yes. I mean, what I'll be talking about that I hope you all come to next Friday is they call it this astrologer from France. He kind of discovered it, but it's astrology. It's not like his. But I think it was Andrea Barbaro, whatever, his basket. But it's the cradle. It's a basket, and the chart I'll be showing you will be showing the Libra moon, a part of it, at 4 degrees on the 19th. But we're going to have Uranus and Gemini at 4 degrees, Pluto Aquarius at 4 degrees, Neptune and Aries at 4 degrees, Jupiter and Leo at 4 degrees. Now, 4 is a Cancer degree, but 4 in numerology connects to Uranus. This is deep. And that 2-hour window of the Libra moon, the moon moves fast, but that 2-hour window of the Libra moon sparking it on the 19th, we need to harness that energy for our manifestations. We'll get to that on Friday. But there are energies that are happening, and I've been saying this, that for the good, the bad, and the indifferent, as a collective, as a universe, as a world, we will remember July 2026. Chances are for the rest of our lives. This is no longer a game. When I tell you, focus on your spiritual practice and meditations, positive self-talk, we are already in the portal of Dog Star Sirius and the Lion's Gate. Right? That's why America, the founders, Freemasons, never been a Christian nation, created it. Really, it was signed on July 3rd, not July 4th, but it aligned with Dog Star Sirius, which the ancients felt, number one, cannabis came from there, right? Ascended masters like Yeshua and Buddha. But the Dog Star Sirius energy is about spiritual warrior and leadership, freedom, nurturing and caring, but it's powerful. The reason why they have the fake New Year, January 1st, is because Dog Star Sirius in Cancer is here in the 10th house on January 1st, the top of the planet, right? Up by the firmament. That connects to pagan holidays and Saturnalia and debauchery. You can't set your resolutions on January 1st. Ain't nothing new, right? Even in the Western Hemisphere, the second week of winter, or I think of Murray watching on the replay in the second week of summer. That's a lie. Just like the Gregorian calendar, we should have 13 months connecting to the 13 menstrual cycles, connecting to the 13th constellation, your Fucus, the Kundalini energy, the divine feminine, the goddess. I'm surrounded by you beautiful ladies today, but I'm man enough to say, y'all ain't come from nobody's rib. I'm not believing in childish fairies. You are the portals, the gods of the universe, bringing in souls into this dimension and realm. Are you not? I've never seen a man give birth. Have you? So, what we have to expect is that this Aquarius North Node will be changing things of power and leadership. Taurus, that's our values, our self-worth, our possessions, and our money. Faith over fear, but this could be the financial change and the power grid being turned off, being blamed on Iran or someone else. You have to be, I'm an old, I never did Boy Scouts, thank God, but I'm an old Boy Scout as a Virgo. I follow the rules, and I'd rather be prepared for 2 or 3 rainy days than to be like, oh, shucks, the sugar honey iced tea has hit the fan And I don't got a flashlight, a candle, a weapon, nothing. I don't even got rice, beans, and food. At this day of the stage and this point, that is in complete ignorance and denial of the reality that is presented before you. So please be more than ready for anything. This tells you you have to diversify your funds. And Chiron's here. Now, this is very interesting because it's not aspecting it. It's still within the square to Pluto, though, right? 4 degrees, still within the square to the Sun and Jupiter, right? Now you see Jupiter's at 5. So you see it's moving because I told you on the 19th, I think until the 23rd, but on the 19th, it's at 4. But that's still a 5-degree orb with Chiron. The energy antenna, emotional, physical, spiritual wounds around what? Your possessions, your body, your throat chakra, your self-worth, your dinero, your money. That is a fixed T-square. And the Sun in Leo and Jupiter opposing the Pluto or pointing the T-square, right? It's pointing to the top of the T. It's pointing to Chiron. The pain, the trauma, the emotional, physical, and spiritual wounds around your values, self-worth, possessions, throat chakra, and your money, honey. Something's got to give. So that's a pretty clear message to speak authentically from your throat chakra. Get lapis lazuli, blue crystals. Speak the authentic truth from your heart through your throat chakra. And Aquarius, you see, this is what's so powerful. Aquarius and Leo, and it's not to offend any other sign. I'm not either. I have no planets in either, but I'm going to give it to you real. Aquarius and Leo are the most authentic zodiac signs. Aquarius is authenticity. The vibration and frequency of authenticity is the highest. Then love, then gratitude and joy. Those are the 4 highest. Think of God. God did not make you, each individual human, having their own birth chart, for Janice to copy Chantel or Gail, for Eric to copy Luis or Israel, right? You're one of one. So to emulate and copy another human, that is a sin to God. That's disrespect. Be you, be authentic. That's why I tell you, right? I already knew long ago that there was no way Kamala could win. Number one, she's not in the bloodline, but 2, getting all these celebrities. No, that's an old paradigm. She didn't want to go on the podcast. Trump did. But it's not, celebrityism is dead. Nobody cares. The illusion of the Piscean age and Neptune and Pisces is adios, no mas. They want to hear from Quintella. They want to hear from Barbara and Janice. They want to hear from Eric and Gail. Be authentic. Chantel, show up. No one cares if you're famous. Are you real? Are you human? And that's going to be the battle, because I will tell you, the alpha generation, they don't like AI. Did you see on the internet these graduations from high school and college? What were the youth doing? They were booing the AI. It's the millennials and Gen Xers that are falling into it and the boomers that are bringing us into it. These young kids know, because they're still more connected to the ethereal spiritual realm. This is not new. Inner Earth, Agartha, they've got technology. They can go from New York to LA in freaking 30 minutes. They've got a lot of things underground. Go to New York to London in like an hour. This is a Earth, or we have countries or nations on top of other civilizations. Coco, you know about this in Atlanta, right? They did this with a lot of the old, indigenous American Indian lands where they just flooded it out and then built on top of it.
That's
Okay.
correct. That
Okay.
is absolutely correct.
So you also have to know the tunnels and what's going on under the earth because there's a whole world. What's beyond the ice wall? Will we find out during this transit? We may. I know you can't go explore there. The only treaties that are kept are the ones about Antarctica, right? So, and Smithsonian and the Grand Canyon. The truth is coming out that America is really the old world. When you look at the Bible, the Mississippi breaks down the definitions of the Nile River in the Bible. The Nile River doesn't match it. With the mounds and pyramids, we have double, triple V here in the Americas than over there in Egypt or Africa. The pyramids. These mountains, are they giants? Are they old cut off trees? The ancients said that there were trees that were in the heavens, in the skies. The veil is thinning, and I encourage us all to spend the time outside in the sun. Sunrise, sunset, sun gazing, taking off your sunglasses. They are spraying because the sun doesn't give you cancer. The cancer comes from the food you're eating and whatever. The sun is life, right? Jyotish, the light of the world, the universe. The sun is sending us frequencies and codes to awaken Gaia, Mother Earth. Some will tell you the dragon is awakening. California, I'll just say I would not be there too much longer if you're there. And definitely not by 2036, the year of the dragon. And California is a dog. And right before it switched, that's when the fires happened, right? That was still the year of the dragon. Because that was what, early January? It switches in February. If any of you have seen future maps of America, it kind of hints that you shouldn't be on any coastlines. You have to trust your intuition. Where is Lilith at this time? This moon is in Capricorn. You know who has this? I did her chart. Some of you may have been at that coffee talk. What's my girl, the musical genius? Yeah, wasn't it Nina Simone? Yeah. Capricorn moon, 12th house. What people don't know about this Capricorn moon, 12th, 1st, 3rd, 5th house. Very talented musically and writing. The Capricorn moon is about discipline and hard work. It delays processing the emotions. But in this chart, this is our collective subconscious at this time. That the collective worldwide in the spiritual realm needs to emotionally build this new world and society together. New structures. Okay. There's the Lilith. There's the glyph. This is the true Black Moon Lilith, H13. Starting a new series kind of on Instagram, breaking that down. But this is so important because in Sagittarius, your intuition is from moving. We have to move our bodies. We have to get outside in nature. Sagittarius is the hips, thighs, and liver, right? We were talking about the liver last night when we were dealing with psoriasis and stuff. It's an issue with the liver, eczema. Check the liver function. Right? Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the most dogmatic sign, but it's with Aquarius, it's the sign that's also most greatly connected to expansion, higher consciousness, wisdom, multiculturalism, faith. freedom and adventure. In the 11th house, that's pretty powerful, right? But just in general, Lilith and Sagittarius, we've got to spend time out in the sun, in the forest, right? We were talking about foresting last night, but in nature, moving your hips and thighs. The Leo South Node, we got to start to talk about that. But at this time, what's important too, in its planetary fall, Venus is in Virgo. It just entered in a day or two ago, right? And this chart, it's still here. Aquarius Rising is in the eighth house, but just in general, this is also talking about connecting to the herbs, crystals, minerals, and gems. Venus in Virgo, when the planet's in its fall, I tell you, it's not a death sentence. We need challenging aspects, oppositions, and squares. We need debilitations and planets in their fall to move us through life, to grow, to challenge. Nothing's happening in trines and you're just comfortable. Trust fund baby, Netflix and chill, eating Doritos on the sofa in your $1 million home or yacht. That's not getting you anywhere. You need to go through confrontation. You need to go through challenges in your life. And Venus in Virgo can be the best gift giver. In relationships, in love, you're not supposed to be nitpicky and overly, critical and then self-critical. Venus is your self-worth. Venus is your devotion. Do you analyze and assess what your devotion is going to? Right? Because if you listen to ignorant or violent trap or any type of music, heavy metal, whatever, your arts, culture, and entertainment is devoted to lower vibrations and frequencies. The superpower of Venus and Virgo is I know how you like your rice. I know how you like your coffee. I know that you prefer pineapple pizza. I know that you like, your sheets on your bed a little untucked by the feet because you hate getting into bed and your feet feel cramped up. That's the superpower. Venus in Virgo is the best gift giver. Remember, Virgo is the most intuitive sign, especially moon. Pisces is psychic. Scorpio is empathic. Cancer has the inner knowing, the oracle. But remember, you've got more nerves in your gut. That's why they call the gut the second brain. The small, large intestine, the gut is filled with nerves. Virgo gets that intuitive hit. They know. They analyze and assess without emotion, not to offend or hurt, but to make things better. If Virgo's telling you something, you may take it personal, but you better know that they're right because they've analyzed and assessed it, took it through the rinse cycle of the data, and they're like, "Doot, doot, 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 doot. Wear the color green. Doot, 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 doot. Eat more fruit." So, just pay attention to that because it's going to be helpful and beneficial at this time. This is the snapshot of the full 18 months. Okay. The things with the Leo South Node, the K2, not conjunct Jupiter and Leo yet, but I told you these two will merge, I believe, November and December. But the South Node in Leo, it wants things to be spiritual, has no head. The direction is vibrating authentically from your heart chakra. High vibration of Leo, generosity, sharing the spotlight, the warmest love. This is the sun shining on you. If any of you have Leo children or Leo friends or spouses or partners or anything, you know when Leo puts his beams on you, you feel like a star, darling. Leo is walking sunshine. My little Leos are messy as heck. They drive me crazy, but they are complete sunshine. You can't help but just smile. They are bigger than life. And this Leo energy with the South Node here for this 18-month transit is getting us to activate the collective heart chakra. In ancient Kemet, right? The souls. If your heart was light as a feather, you ascended. If it was heavy, that means you lived a dense, negative life, it was stony or just real heavy, right? Then you went back in the reincarnation loop. The intuitive hits and messages I'm getting right now is like, hey, I'm not judging anybody. I don't care about what anybody eats, but you better start eating less and eating lighter. The fruit is the H3O. There may be a time, if you depend on meat, there'd be a time where you may not be able to get any meat. And it may be sooner than later. So you better be able to get some freaking almonds and some cashews, chew on a tree stump, get you some spinach or broccoli or kale, get you an apple, a pear, high vitamin C fiber, right? Look at your teeth. You can't walk up to a cow or some sort of animal and bite it. You're not a carnivore. And what do the carnivores do? The lion sleeps all day. You've got to be light, light as a feather, because you're becoming in this ascension crystalline, a light body, right? That's how you ascend, leaving the 3D paradigm. You can't be in the density heavy of the meat and the flesh. You're eating death. I mean, conceptually, what do you think is going to happen when, as a collective, we ingest death into our living body? When the fruits and vegetables are electromagnetically charged from the sun. We are electromagnetic beings. That's why you're a battery and they put you in a cell, right? So the Leo South Node wants to cut, separate, and divide what? The drama. Oh my God, the ego, the selfishness. Oh, I'm self-centered. It's just about me. Nobody could be more arrogant and selfish and self-centered than Leo and Aquarius on their low vibration. Ooh, nobody's as stubborn as the fixed signs. Taurus is number one with stubborn. I would say Scorpio is the least, but they're fixated on something. It is just like they're not movable. But Aquarius and Leo, when they want to be low vibrational, selfish, and self-centered, oh, their hands up high. We're releasing that as a collective at this time. You got to be generous. You got to share the spotlight. Oh, there's no time for drama. There's time for love. And it's in the seventh house of the other half. Love thy neighbor. I mean, if we live by these principles and pillars, like think about how beautiful that we could have this utopian world, right? Aquarius North Node, consider the collective. Everybody gets a slice of vegan pizza and kombucha. The Leo South Node, everybody spreads love, right? What I tell you, if I got, apples and pears and you've got kale and broccoli and we trade, then we both got fruits and vegetables. If I own a chicken and you have a cow, right? We can exchange meat or whatever it is, right? We have got to start to think universally because even though we are all Aquarius, authentic ourselves, Saturn, Neptune in Aries at this time, right? The I am, right? I am, and think about Aries, sorry, this mouse is acting crazy. The tribal leader, being brave and courageous. Don't forget, this Chiron is coming back the end of September for its final cleanup to say, I'll be back in 50 years, but just a little reminder as I retrograde back, are you being sovereign? Are you independent? Are you being the I am, the man and woman in the arena, even in a group and tribe? Are you stepping up? Say, hey, I got the eggs and I can paint toenails. I can do foot massages. Oh, I can do your birth chart. Oh, I can help grow plants and herbs, right? Oh, I know how to like build or a car or electricity. What are you stepping up to offer? You can't just sit there and just be flesh and bones. What value do you provide for the tribe and for the collective? That's what Saturn and Neptune are asking. And at this time, till 2028, Saturn is saying, listen, Aries, no, no, no. You can't be impulsive. You can't be the impulsive child running around, stepping on people in the restaurant. You got to think before you respond, think before you react. Have discipline, structure, organization, and a plan. So then you can be that sovereign, independent woman or man and the great I am. The Neptune, compassion, empathy. Are you initiating your spiritual practice? Are you initiating your imagination and creativity? People don't think about it within Aries, but Aries are very protective of their family. That tribal leader, that soldier, that warrior is to, sorry, just let me see. Okay. That tribal warrior and leader is to protect the tribe and the group, the family. My father was in Aries. They, you know, remember I told you Aquarius, the old man genius, Aries, the childhood genius? They are here to take care of, nurture, and protect. It's a cardinal sign. It initiates the equinox and spring. But their principle is to the spark of the sun, the first fire sign, to initiate anything in life. Capricorn completes it to the physical realm. This Cap Moon is going to complete things emotionally for the collective in the 12th house. Okay, so we're going to get ready to go to all the signs. Any questions? And the one thing that I really want to say is at this time, this trine to Ceres in Gemini, there is a nurturing and caring that can happen through the technology, through our communications, our writing. We have to journal. We have to manifest with positive words. When I've been saying, really for the last 2 years, think of, I just want to say it's almost like a prophet, Michael Jackson, MJ, the man in the mirror. That's who you need to become. Be that man in the mirror, talking to yourself in different portals and dimensions and saying the positive affirmations every morning and every night. Nobody in this world is going to big you up and think that you're awesome and amazing if you don't. You got to get in that mirror and talk positively to yourself and about yourself, because when you do it, it will shock you, the results and the power, because you don't know, right? When they release these movies, the 80th version of Spider-Man coming out, I think this weekend or next weekend, I don't even know, right? You can't keep up with watching them. There's a new Spider-Man every 2 freaking years. I mean, yes, Hollywood is lazy, but pay attention to when they talk about these. What do they break down? Right? The Spideyverse, the different portals and realms and dimensions. They're giving you truth through The Simpsons, through the Illuminati board game, through the movies, through what's that TV series on Netflix, Black Mirror. They have to do it because they think it's karmic retribution to let you know, right? Just like on a cigarette package, this is toxic and it can kill you, but you still will smoke it, right? But that's what you need to understand. They play by these different laws and rules, and you agree to it. Once they tell you, if you still do it, that's on you. Now
It's
they
just
think,
like you saying, you- what they used to say back in the day. Don't say you haven't been warned.
yeah, right. And
That's
the
what that
thing is,
reminds me of.
but they think they are getting away from real karma, and they're not. It
Mhm.
appeases them for their agenda in this realm. But
Mhm.
no, 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 you can't live the life. And people get frustrated. People are like, why do all these evil people seem to live forever and they don't ever get arrested and don't go to jail? And it's disheartening to a good-hearted human. And I get it. It sucks. Not one person in that file has been arrested, except for
Mhm.
a person who did a video revealing all the people that were in the files. This young guy or whatever, he got arrested. Not one of them,
Mhm.
right? But understand, I don't care if they're alien, inorganic, hybrids, this and that. Their day shall come. Okay? It may not be in this dimension. It may not be on Earth. It may not be in this lifetime. But oh yeah, it's gonna happen. This is why they turned off CERN a couple of weeks ago. and we'll potentially turn it back on in 2030. You got 4 years to really manifest, get your heart and soul right, and do what you need to do, right? This is gonna, switch up, and there's a new Mandela effect about Chick-fil-A or something. I can't keep track of these things, and I really don't care, right? But you can
Mm.
see it in music and movies and in products, and Richard Simmons with the headband, and this and that and all this foolishness. Bernstein Bears, cornucopia with Fruit of the Looms. You know what I mean? Now they can't fool me because I got a Capricorn moon. I remember everything. I remember conversations from freaking second grade. So, Mandela effects are not messing with me because I know what I know and I remember. But a lot of people can feel like they're living in different parallel timelines, right? When you're messing with the God particle and you're messing around with the energy and frequencies and opening up portals to bring in demonic entities, it is going to affect the timeline. But they've done this because they've seen the future outcome. Time travel is real. Don't think for a minute it's not. They show you that in the movies for a reason. And in the future outcomes, they've seen in everything they look at that they lose. Clock is ticking. Time's up. Game over. But you got to choose, what do you want in your front lawn? Do you want the Leo South Node of the heart chakra, the human design prophecy of the love and generosity, trading fruits and vegetables with your neighbors, being a part of a tribe and offering your love, your heart, your intelligence, your soul? This is why I say to all of you guys, when I say, oh my God, every tribe member is just as amazing as the next, and that I love you guys, I mean it because I see you. You may have a spouse, a child, a sibling, this person, a neighbor, a best friend since first grade that has never seen you. But what's the most important thing is that you see yourself. Get in the mirror, activate this Taurus Chiron wound, throat chakra, and know that if not one human on this world is speaking positively to yourself, to you, about you, you've got to do it. That is your right, and it is your calling, and it is your job. When we gossip and speak negatively about ourselves, the subconscious mind is listening. This Capricorn moon will remember. This Capricorn moon will be like, oh, Eric just called himself a dummy. Well, then, okay, he's dumb. Let me only bring stupidity and dumb things to him. Oh, he's speaking of lack. He can't afford this. He doesn't have the money for that. Well, then let's keep that energy and vibration coming to him. I only manifest from the realm of gratitude. Thank you for giving me this, that you've already received the victory. You've already received the healing. Now, Alana gets on me like, you better go to those med beds and freaking heal all your aches and pains and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying. I do the codes. I do everything, this and that or whatever. But I'm just like, you have to see yourself healed and in the light. Okay. So we're going to start to go around to Pisces Rising. Any questions? There's not really any of these other major aspects, but I think really it's being your authentic self, being mindful as we move forward with the Aquarius North Node to think about the tribe and the collective, but don't get pushed away in the need to consume new things that, like, oh, I want a VR headset. Oh, I want a chip in my head. Oh, I want these glasses that read different languages and this and that. I see all this stuff and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Not all this is good, right? Yes, I'll let AI clean up what I've written, fix the commas, and my punctuation sometimes is absurd, and clean up stuff and reorganize what I wrote. But I'm not giving it the opportunity to birth things that should be coming from my mind and my heart and soul. I had to tell a friend the other day who was telling me about something with astrology. I said, no, 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 no. I don't care if it's Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude. They're giving you information that's wrong. So I encourage you guys too. You can bring up and put your chart placements in the AI, but it's not always accurate. Somebody was talking to me just yesterday about Virgo and Sagittarius something in a trine. And I was like, no, 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 that's not a trine. That's a square. Just like this fixed square, Aquarius, Taurus. Sag and Virgo are a 90-degree angle. They're both mutable signs. That's a square. It's never a trine. I don't care if it's 0 degrees Virgo and 28 degrees Sag. No, it's still in the paradigm of a square just by sign and the modality being mutable. So just be careful, you guys. Don't rely on these things. They're not always giving you the truth just because it comes through Google AI or the technology of the computer. Stop thinking that things are not intentional. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. Things coincide. We saw that last night with Joseph and Desiree. That's God. It's not an accident. So I'm going to go to Pisces. Anything about this chart or any questions? Aquarius North Node, Leo South Node. And we do need to release all the drama and, like I said, the ego and being selfish and self-centered. This is all about authenticity and the heart and love. Okay. And the eclipses will be intense, and the fixed signs will feel it the most, but the air and fire signs will feel it in harmonious trine ways and sextiles. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to Pisces. Okay. And as we go along, you can chime in or ask questions about your ascendant. So, Pisces rising, the Aquarius North Node is in your 12th house. The Leo South Node's in your 6th house. These are the houses of health. The 12th house is the Aquarius North Node in your bedroom. The jails, prison, hospital, hidden talents, hidden enemies, isolated places. This is you connecting with me, tapping into the dream book and the dream code 2137, getting your Aquarius crystals, being intentional about in your bedroom. Maybe you listen, Eric, and unplug your internet. Maybe you're sleeping with those Aquarius crystals to help you, but creating the dream book and being intentional. Listen, we can't just go through life being a tissue floating in the wind, right? We're all conscious, and you got to reprogram the subconscious mind to become more conscious. We only use our conscious minds 8 to 10% of the day. That's not enough. Do the things that make you more present. So that means tricking yourself. If you do everything right-handed, do automatic writing, start writing with your left hand, brush your teeth with your opposite hand. Do these things that will make you just shake up and be like, oh, okay, I just got zapped, I'm back now. That is going to protect you at this time. The Leo South Node in the 6th house of health, right? This is your co-workers, your bosses. You may be dealing with real ego battles at work. This is like finding that one quiet person at work that spiritually you align with and communing and eating lunch with them. This is your service to humanity. Do you share some of your possessions with people? Maybe you're adopting a pet. Cats are spiritual realm. That's Mars. Dogs are the South Node. Maybe you're adopting a 3-legged dog from Dominican Republic. We saw them on our honeymoon. There were so many. It was so sad. We're babysitting a dog this weekend, right? But like the South Node in the 6th house, maybe your mother's siblings, maybe you're like, you know what? My auntie hasn't been feeling too good. Let me send her a little care package, Oh, Alana's got a sale with Sabale Pure. Let me send my auntie a lip balm. Let me get her organic trace mineral deodorant. Let me give her something to help her with her health, her hygiene, her sicknesses or illnesses, right? And yourself. But this is your aunt and your uncle, the 6th house, taking care of your pets, right? Let me, during the day, running my errands, Leo South Node, Sun and Jupiter here, let me be more positive and optimistic. Let me shine the light on, going to a soup kitchen. Let me take my kids Thanksgiving Eve or Christmas Eve to a place so we, put things together and help with the, feeding people. this is always good karma. And remember, I told you Scorpio, Aquarius, Pisces are the three most karmic signs. Aquarius has always got karmic debt to pay off. Sun and Moon. I had like a little viral moment on IG about my breaking down Aquarius, Sun and Moon and the karmic debt to pay off to your parents. I was like, oh my God, that's kind of cool. I've never gone viral anywhere. That thing is overwhelming now. I can't even respond back to everybody. It's over like 70,000 views and 700. I haven't checked the numbers now. 700 comments. I got like 900 new followers, subscribe. I mean, I was like, whoa. Now it's not super, super viral, but it was a little mini viral. But I was just like, thank you, God. Like, that's it. But, these things are important. And when the South Node, this is also debt, divorce, conflicts. The Leo South Node, do you really need to fight for every penny in the divorce? What's better for the family? What's better for the children? Pisces rising. How do we now? I got some things about the debt stuff because, this country is indebted to us all, right? For the robbery, for the overtaxation, for the 40 acres and a mule, all this foolishness. So, I'm not saying just get a bunch of credit cards and run up debt on it and then never pay it. But I'm saying that your social security number and your sovereign self, they already have bank accounts for all of us. We're all enslaved and working for, the queen and I guess now the king of England. These things are going to change, right? We have to reclaim our identity and all these different things. That's a whole nother conversation and episode. But, you know, that's these things. But Pisces North, no, I mean, Pisces rising, it's really about in your daily routine, vibrating from your heart chakra, being more generous, right? Saying hello to somebody at the grocery store. You may be the only compliment. Oh, I love your shirt. Oh, that's a nice tie, sir. I love your haircut. That may be the only compliment they get all month, all day, all year. Do you know how lonely people are? That's one thing I love about my quirky Venus Aquarius wife. She talks to everybody in the supermarket, knows their names, this and that. They know about the kids, they know about me, and they love her. That's the Pisces Sun and Mercury, the Venus Aquarius, that Aquarius energy. And so that's where we have to think, even with this Aquarius North Node, your opportunity, Pisces risings, to pray for the collective energy, to tap into it. This is important for Janice and Murray, right? To think about the collective consciousness, right? To tap into that. Aquarius is about freedom and liberation, sovereignty, just like Aries. Those are the most independent signs, Aquarius and Aries, and very sovereign. Don't try to trap an Aquarius or, right? Quintella, you need your freedom, right? I mean, it's like, don't do that to them. It's really powerful. So Pisces risings, just know that this is going to be more in the private domain, but in the spiritual realm. Okay. Um, Aries risings, you got Saturn, Neptune on your ascendant. You're dealing with the Aquarius node in the 11th house, your older siblings, but the groups and organizations, the long-term investments, right? Yeah, this is gold too. Gold is taking a hit. We need to have cash in the floor under the pillow, credit union, regular bank, long-term investments. I don't have the patience for day trading. I did it when I was single in 1999 in California. But just diversifying your funds and maybe get a little bit of crypto. That battle is a spiritual battle, but in the long run, there could be decentralized currencies. I don't know what's going on with BRICS in those countries for Russia, China's, all those different countries that were forming BRICS. I don't know what's the latest with that. I don't know about Casara, Jacera, whatever, when they're talking about Us getting back the money that we should have from our social security numbers and free energy. And, what Andrew Yang started in 2016, talking about everybody having a basic income. Is that good? Is that bad? What will the cost be? If every citizen in America gets $4,000 a month just for breathing and living and working, I mean, and existing, is it because there are no more jobs? Is it because you have to receive some digital ID? Is it because you're plugged into the 6G and the 5G, and to get on your internet or to even have internet, you have to have some sort of code to your retina? I don't know. Do you want to be in 15-minute cities? Do you want to be in a digital prison? These are some of the decisions and choices that we may have to make between now and 2030, or between now and the next 18 months with this transit. And I'm not saying that lightly. I mean, it's just read the room. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? So now the Leo South Node in the fifth house, well, that's associated with Leo. Venus is planetary joy. Jupiter is planetary joy in the 11th house. Expansion, extreme wealth. The Aquarius North Node can consume, right? Oh, this AI is making me all this money. Oh, I don't even have to work anymore. I just push two buttons a day and I'm earning all this money. That can be the positive for Aries rising. But Pluto and Juno, right? Think about, what are you married to? Are you marrying to the freedom and liberation, or you are marrying into and transforming into digital slavery? Two different paradigms, two different stories, two different choices. They're coming up to plate, like all the Aquariuses. Frederick Douglass, Lincoln, Babe Ruth, Rakim, Michael Jordan. They're coming up to plate. What are we choosing? The Leo South Node in the fifth house. We got to teach our children spirituality. These kids are out here lost. You got to tell your children, your grandchildren, put down the damn phone. It's messing up your brain with the dopamine hits, messing up your eyes. You don't have protective lenses. It's messing up your imagination and creativity. You take the iPad or the cell phone away from a 12, 10, 14, 15-year-old, they will lose their minds, and they're acting like a freaking 1982 crackhead. You all know it. Oh, I can't believe why. What? So the South Node cuts, separates, and divides. It's purging and detoxing. Get these kids to make a picture. Fifth house, ancient knowledge. Teach them about astrology, numerology, human design. It's never too early. We need to bring back the mystery schools. That's something that I may have to do in the future. It may be part of my calling. I didn't teach for 13 years for nothing. I mean, yes, and I teach astrology now, but I got a heart for the kids. And I taught the multiply severely disabled children in the Bronx for 10 years, who really the ancient cultures and tribes consider these MR, autistic, cerebral, they consider these gifts from the heavens, these children with special needs. We may look at it as a burden. I will tell you, I learned so much from those kids, but what I learned was pure service. I will tell you, I'm not trying to like brag or be arrogant about it, but yeah, I think I've earned a real nice, comfortable chair and sofa in heaven because when you're changing diapers and getting peed on and spit at and bitten, you're doing God's work. Okay. That's my heart. Now, yeah, I will say I got into it for survival because Hollywood shut down and I had to pay rent in a studio apartment, but I didn't have to stay. I stayed because of the love. I stayed because I saw that they needed a man there. I stayed because those kids grabbed my heart. You know what I mean? And Cheryl Taylor taught for 35 years in Harlem. So I got that bug of teaching and being of service from my mother. Aries risings, that that South Node in Leo, the Sun and Jupiter. Create from your heart, make it spiritual. None of this self-hating music, misogynistic, materialistic. I was never in support of it. Never was down with Diddy. Never was into gangster rap and that stuff. I was always the canary in the cage, the warning signs. Now, I will tell you, some of it was the ego of the New York MC, realizing that the other people across the place were doing my first love wrong and didn't love it, didn't earn it. When I grew up, everybody played their position. Some people were graffiti artists. Some people were, the bombers. Some people were, and that's what's in the book, star signs and rhyme lines. Some people were b-boys, breakdancers, right? Some people were the DJs. Not everybody had the skill, the talent, or had the opportunity or the right to grab the microphone and spit their bars. That little silly movie with Terrence Howard and that white kid. Oh, everybody deserves to have a verse. No, they don't. That's the problem with social media, right? Just because you have the right to tweet at somebody or this and that and say stuff, not everybody's voice is love. Not everybody's voice is intelligent or skilled or positive. And some people only speak out of vitriol, hate, and harm and division. That mentality has put us in a situation that we're in today in 2026, and it's freaking embarrassing and disgusting. So Aries risings, we got to teach to create from the heart with generosity and positivity, with skill and talent, authentically. Taurus risings, we're dealing with the pillars, the four angular houses. The Aquarius North Node in the 10th house, this is about your father, your legacy, your public image, your reputation, and potentially, if the midheaven is there, your career. With Algo there, the square. So there could be some people in public, coming for your head, saying things about you like, oh, you think you're too intelligent, or oh, you're so weird. You're always talking about numerology and cardology and astrology and blah, blah, blah. Tell them to kick rocks. Who cares? Right? Because that's coming from the ascendant, people challenging your aura, your I am energy, your speech. The Taurus risings, they are always authentic in public with Aquarius in the 10th house, even with no planets there. But when you got Pluto, Juno, and the North Node there, and the Sun, Jupiter, and the South Node in the 4th house in your home, Taurus risings, Gail, even if you come home and nobody's there, or if you come home to a house of kids and a husband or a wife and this and that, Taurus risings are the regal king and queen in their domain. It's like, daddy's home, mommy's home, everyone come greet me. Ah, that's the Leo 4th house. It's real. Okay. I got my Aquarius in the 4th house. I ain't running nothing up in here. Alana's the Taurus rising, the 4th house. She's running this house. Okay. I just work and provide the money. Okay. She's the regal queen in Taurus rising, 4th house. The South Node here, the Sun and Jupiter, expand the love in the home, but the 4th house is the hometown and the homeland. Now, America's chart's a Sag rising. So we'll look at this when we get to Sag rising. But for Taurus rising, this is sharing that abundance and generosity in a spiritual way in your house and in your home, in your emotional mind. This is the childhood home, the adult home, the retirement home. Our retirement homes for our families, I would never have put my mother in a home. Never did. Yeah, she had to, after being sick or, whatever, go to rehab and stuff. And then I'd be there every day visiting her. And then she came back home. There's plenty of people, different ethnicities and cultures. They just put their loved ones in a place. Some of them are nicer than others, but they're never going to treat your loved one the way that they should be treated. This right here is what's happening, what many cultures have always done. There's a lot of multi-generational homes right now because of our finances in America. but it's really a good thing. The grandparents help the parents. The kids help the grandparents. The grandparents teach the grandkids. Everybody's funds come together and support one another. This is how you build wealth. This is what many foreigners, when they come to America, do. They don't just spread out and everybody's spending 1,500 to 2,000 for an apartment in different cities. They build together. So then everyone could wind up buying a luxury car or buying this and that. And then if they do separate, they're making sure that it's when someone can afford ownership, not rental, to build equity, legacy, wealth. You have to change the paradigm mentally of that. There's nothing wrong with multi generations living together. That's love. And this Taurus rising, Jupiter, Jupiter fourth house, that's a lot of people in the house, baby. Jupiter first, third, or fifth, there's a lot of siblings or children. Jupiter fourth house, there's a lot of extended family or people up in your house. And there's a lot of love. The Leo South Node, release the ego, the selfishness, the self-centered, the drama. This is going to affect Hollywood. This is going to affect the politicians. You're going to see, even coming up when Jupiter opposes Pluto, what Terrell Owens, get your popcorn ready. There will be revelations of truth. You may have already heard some of it. I don't know if I trust or believe some of those audio files going around on Instagram about celebrities talking about things. Justin Bieber getting in Mariah Carey's, I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok, talking about her sacrifice. Ooh, the mother and the daughter. I'm not talk too much about that, but you understand, right? Because I know when it happened, my Scooby-Doo was like, huh? This happens. Why do you think LeBron James don't want to retire from the NBA? You got to pay the piper, baby. Gemini risings. Okay. Gemini risings. Uranus and Mars on the ascendant. Oof. Aquarius North Node, right? And that's initiating the communications, but also initiating consciousness, breath work, the downloads. But you got the North Node in the ninth house of foreign lands, publishing, the masters, teachers, the PhD, the father's teachings, wisdom, beliefs, philosophies. Your philosophy may be getting more into the science, getting more into the AI, getting more into the astrology, numerology, soul contracts, gematria. You may want to move, go on a lot of trips. You want to go to Machu Picchu. You want to go to, ancient Kemet. You want to go to Grand Canyon. You want to go to Sedona. You want to go to these spiritual places. You want to go to Hawaii. You want to go to all the different stargates. This is a battle. Iran is Stargate 10. What happened in Hawaii a couple of years? That's Stargate 11, Maui. Everything is spiritual. There are no accidents. Maybe we should all paint our roofs blue. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? Like these things are, you know what I mean? There are, look at the government websites. They do have direct energy weapons. Mountain Dew, right? Each soda can of Mountain Dew, when it comes out, it's connected to a new thing. Make that make sense. I don't know. It just happens, right? But everything is symbolism and codes. You have to decipher them and read them because the information and knowledge is there when you see the symbols and the codes. So this will get you into mentorship, Gemini risings, right? The Aquarius North Node. What is the message that you are karmically to dispense to the collective? This is going to hit your sun, Quintella, and no, Kendra's got the Capricorn sun, but this is really powerful. How do you become the guru and the shaman and the teacher and the mentor over the technology? This is a powerful transit. It's consuming. This is publishing, writing the book, the blog, sharing the message. The Leo South Node in the third house for Gemini risings, I mean, that Ceres is sextiling it. And what I meant to say before for the whole chart in Aquarius risings, this Ceres is also really saying that we have got to, and I touched on it a little, but just to reiterate, it is about the nurturing of the communications and the hands. We got to get back to hugging. We got to all be like New Yorkers, right? Freaking, come over here. Let me give you a meal. Talk to you with my freaking hands. Give me a hug. I freaking love yous. You love me, I love yous. You're my neighbor. I got a Pontiac and I got a car, and you need some garlic knots. You need some food. I got to feed you. You're looking skinny. Come here. Let's get a meal. Ceres and Gemini is the hugs, the foods. I'm not going to let you go out in them streets and protest and just go for these long walks without, oh, you need some water. You need the vegan slice of pizza and kombucha. Come here. I got you. Right? That's what it is. So, Gemini risings, this Leo South node, social media, local community, younger siblings, your friends, your neighbors, transportation, Sun, Jupiter, Leo South node. They may not like it, but sometimes your cousins and younger siblings, if y'all are in disagreement or things ain't vibrating, Gemini risings, then maybe the South Node also has to cut, separate, and divide. Sometimes you gotta let them go. Just another love TKO, right? Because you guys, we can't ascend. I told you this with the Capricorn full moon, the Sagittarius full moon, these new moons. You can't, Lot's wife, you can't turn around and yearn for the old world structures and systems. They are broken. They've never served you and they are no longer serving you. You got to say goodbye, adios,
Adiós.
because you're moving forward. You're moving forward to the new world, the new earth. And the more you focus on the 5D and your spiritual practice and ascension, what's happening in the matrix will be none of your business. Sicknesses, the pandemics, the foolishness, that won't even come on your doorstep. It may be down the block and around the corner from you. You're like, oh, that's so sad. That's terrible. But over here with me and minds, we vibrating from love. We're vibrating from generosity, the collective. We're vibrating from the tribe, positivity, high vibrational thoughts, talks, food, parasite, getting the toxins out of you. That's why I told you with Pluto and Aquarius, it's time to get on your parasite cleanse, dis-ease in the body, stagnant blood, parasites in the brain is the Alzheimer's and dementia. Parasites here, parasites there is the cancer, the lupus, the MS. The warfare is spiritual. You're fighting for your soul, your sovereignty, for your life. It's game playtime's over. Even for me, I don't watch as much sports as I used to. I know it's fake. I know that. I know it all. I accept it. I need to have that one vice of my little moments of fun. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not smoking cigarettes. I'm not ODing on sugar. I got to watch a little NFL and basketball. But I'm not attached to it the way that I was. I'm not thinking that it's real. I'm not thinking that this World Cup fever, this foolishness, and yes, they'll probably just have Argentina win because it's part of an agenda, or France, right? Either way, it doesn't matter. But you have to know that, the Spidey verse for the 45th time, or the this, or the TV series, right? You guys remember when the lockdown came, the pandemic? You were flooded with entertainment to watch. One good movie, one good show after another. Keep them entertained while we're out there putting up the 5G towers and blocking out the sun, or the black sun, or planet Nibiru, right? Come on, y'all. Like, you know the game. You know the drill. Don't don't be aware of the matrix and simulation and then not be afraid to recognize it and point it out, even if it comes to our passions and our loves and our joys. you know? Yeah, we all like a little Tupac and Biggie. We all like a little maybe NFL or the BET Awards or the Golden Globes, but we got to know it's all fugazi. We got to know politics is fugazi. Don't get caught up like, oh my God, this person sounds like they're really talking about love for everybody. Mondani in New York. Oh, he really cares, and oh, free this, and he wants to bring down rents, and oh, he's different. Really? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not. They're not. They're not like us. They're not like us. Even that was a whole thing. And it hurts because we're pure. We want a champion. We want a hero. Saturn, Neptune, Aries. We want that. This person's going to lead me to freedom. That's the paradigm of the Christ consciousness that they fed us to make us think that it's outside of us. Nobody's coming to save you. You're saving yourself by the vibration and frequency, the 33 vertebrates,
Okay.
the Kundalini, the third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
On there.
Right?
Good boy.
You know, right? And so that's beautiful because that means you're not a victim in the 3D or 5D. You are freaking powerful and incredible. You can move the fake clouds in the sky. Start talking to the wind. Start talking to the trees. Start testing your powers and your gifts because they're freaking incredible. You're not less than. Stop using blessed. You don't want to be less. There is no good morning. Nobody died last night. Grand rising. You rise every day out of that bed like the sun and do it with gratitude. When I first woke up out of a coma, it hurt for me to swallow. I didn't know if that was going to go away. Every day I wake up in gratitude that I can see and hear and swallow and I have my memory. There were no guarantees to Alana that I would wake up and know who I am and who she is and the kids. They did not know, y'all. So Gemini risings, this third house, you may have to say goodbye. And you've got to get on social media, your sales, advertising, marketing. You may still need to hold on to your matrix job. I get it. There's no judgment. But do it vibrating from your heart chakra. You may be the lone wolf at your job that you can't talk to nobody and you're alone, but you're just there for a paycheck. Then that's fine. But maybe someone comes to you, hey, why do you sit by yourself? I see you meditating. I see you looking at you're a Gemini? Is that a birth chart? What is that about? And then you look with a smile and say, do you really want to know? I will show you. I will share my light and my love. I will let you know you're a life path 3. I will let you know that you're a Gemini and a Sag rising and you got a beautiful Pisces moon. I will talk to you. I have friends and family that they ignore any text I send them, any video I send them. Some I've stopped, and sometimes I send it anyway. I may be a little bit irritant. They may be like, Eric's freaking crazy. I don't give a crap. Because one day they may accidentally push the button and see something, and they may wake the hell up. That's how much I love people. I love people that don't love me back. Care about their sovereignty and their soul and their freedom. You don't think it hurts? It hurts. That's why I love you guys so much. You guys are my tribe and my family. I know what I know. I've been on the other side. I don't have any doubts or questions about anything that I am doing now in 2026 in my life because I've been on the other side. When I tell you that the veil is this thin and getting thinner by the moment, when I tell you to talk to the trees and talk to the sky and talk positively to yourself, these are not just things for marketing, from business. Retire for negative self-talk. Yeah, I may make it into a t-shirt one day, but it's for love and power. It's not for joke.
Not for joke.
You know what I'm saying? It's not for joke. And there's nothing about me is for joke. My Capricorn moon, this moon in this chart is screaming at me because I've been this little old soul since day one. When my mom used to have house parties, and I tell you, I was that little kid with the big mouth, the big feet, and the big glasses. And the adults would come to me and they come to little Eric. And how does this little kid, and I know they must have been like, damn, he is so cute and so weird. How does this little kid know every stat of every player in the baseball, the football, the basketball? They were blown away by me. And I now at 55 would look at a kid like that and be like, oh my God, this kid is so cute. It's so funny. They're amazing. And that's how we have to look at our little alphas and betas. These kids are here to teach us. When they tell you about their past lives on the other side, believe them. They're not lying to you. They've got healing gifts that we can't fathom. They are here to teach us to lead these paradigms of racism and prejudice and separatism. We need to listen. I could have been an Irish woman last life, 2 lives ago, a Nigerian man, 3 lives ago, an old Japanese grandmother, right? But you love the people, right? That every past life, oh, I was Mother Mary and I was a king and this. I'm like, okay, you were just like some peasant in Scotland. You know what I mean? Like everybody's royalty and this and that. I just have to laugh at it. But you know, it's all good. It's all love. Whatever people, you know, past life regressions or they resonate with or whatever. But sometimes you were just a person in a village and maybe you stirred up some trees and some weeds and you gave people some potions and you just took care of the 20 people in your community. But that's good enough. That's good enough. Cancer risings. You're dealing with the Aquarius in your 8th house. Remember, I told you the ancients felt that the Cancer rising was the authentic birth chart because the first house is coming through the portal. You're born from the mother's womb. Leo, the father, 2nd house, going out to work to go get the big piece of chicken in the jungle or whatever. So Aquarius North Node in 8th house, that's inheritance. That's connecting to the secret societies and learning about this stuff so you illuminate it so you and yours are safe. But also that you are realizing that your freedom and sovereignty and liberation come from learning the ancient knowledge, the truth, the crystals, the gems, the minerals, and the herbs. When I tell you Joseph's products are great and they work, it's because I used them. I wouldn't bring him to the tribe if he wasn't the real deal. And he's the real deal. Cancer rising's like, yeah, use your crystals. Use your Gemini crystals in the bedroom. Mars, Uranus, explore the spiritual realms. The Leo South Node in the 2nd house, Cancer rising's like Jupiter and the Sun are here. You're going to get the bag this year, but it needs to be authentic and spiritual. It needs to be from your heart chakra. You need to be generous. You need to teach from your heart. Jupiter 2nd house speech. South Node spiritually. You may need to release and cut off some family members. You may, for the first time, see clearly that both of your parents were narcissists and they never wished you well. And that's a hard, sucky pill to swallow. But it happens for many of us. I have clients every day that had terrible parents, but you still need to forgive them. Forgiveness is a gift to you. That's part of your freedom. That makes your heart lighter. That's part of your ascension. Do not hold grudges against anybody, you guys. They're not worth it. Part of self-love is canceling all those karmic debts, right? I love everybody that betrayed me. And there's a long list. God, I got a long list of people that betrayed your boy, and I have forgiven all of them, and I love them, but they don't have access to me anymore. Oh, I'm not stupid. I'm a Scorpio rising, Virgo sun, Cap moon. Think about how I get down with people like that. They're done. No más. See, comprende? Aquarius North Node, Pluto. They already know Cancer risings, what they're dealing with to 2044 with Pluto here. But yeah, when people talk about the power, think about the crystals is why we're talking right now. There's crystals in this computer, in your smart TV, in your watch, in your lighter to spark it. There's crystals in your cell phone, your iPad. And then no shade or no hate, but organized religion, especially Christianity, wants to tell you that crystals or yoga is a sin. Come on, we know better, right? Who made the crystals? God, not man. Who controls the planets? God, not man. I surely can't make Venus go into Virgo. I don't have that type of power. That's source, right? That we are all fractures of the one source. Cancer risings, this is a beautiful time for you. You need to get deeper into the truth. You need to read the book of Enoch. You need to learn numerology, human design, astrology, cardology. It may save you and your husband or your wife's life. This is a deep time for you, Cancer risings. You may receive an inheritance. Okay. It's beautiful. And you got the Mars and Gemini in your 12th house. You better get in there and start talking to your ancestors and your higher self and your dreams and get that dream book in the spiritual realm. I was born Uranus in the 12th house. You will have visions and dreams and downloads constantly, right? It's powerful. Leo risings, you know you're the protector of children. You vibrate from your heart chakra. You got to watch that ego. Leo risings, woo. I mean, look at El Presidente. That's what he has. The ego is absurd. So you can see how it could go off the rails. But the South Node for Leo risings at this time with Jupiter and the Sun, you better start speaking authentically from your heart chakra, the truth. And the South Node, you got to cut, release, and purge the arrogance, the selfishness, the ego. It's not time to be self-centered. And you're going to be focused on the other half, right? Maybe not this 34-year-old blonde girl, but maybe you go back to your wife, El Presidente, right? But Leo risings, think about that. The North Node. Now, be careful. The North Node in the seventh house. If you're single, you could do a lot of what is it? The serial monogamous, because you're consuming. There's many people who have the North Node in the seventh house who will be married more than once. And, nothing wrong with it, right? You got to get it right. You got to get it right. But you just got to be careful because already you're detached from the other half. But the North Node and Pluto there are trying to get you to be the healed version. We're not coming to any marriage or relationship 50-50. We're coming 100-100. We got to stop these old ways of saying stuff that no longer serve us. Aquarius North Node in the seventh house, this is not just the scales of justice, it's the scales of the marketplace. What's in your kitchen? What did your maternal grandmother teach you? She taught you about bitters. She taught you about growing and having dandelion root. She taught you about the cayenne pepper. Use it. Bring it back. Be authentic in your relationships and your partnerships. Have authentic business practices with your business partners. Right? This may be you starting the spiritual business. Maybe you're like, you know what? Eric said some stuff that made me think I got about 5 more months in this matrix. And then I'm jumping out, Leo Risings. I'm going out on faith, right? I got Jupiter on my ascendant. I got for the full year, I'm Leo Rising. I'm doing it, right? I got Saturn and Neptune in my ninth house. I'm like, I'm writing the book. I'm doing it. I'm becoming the spiritual mentor and teacher. I'm doing it. So please, Leo Risings, like think about that. And remember what I was saying, detached, you could be, Leo Risings, they may, be into some frupple stuff. I'm not judging, right? What's the oh God, what's the show it was with the Mormons and Alana used to watch it on TV, but it was like they'd have like five sister wives. And so I tease her because there's a new one that she was watching with a brother, and he had like three Caucasian wives. I was like, oh, this brother is doing it. He got, he had, and then he had to get rid of the fourth one because she wasn't vibing. So it was just him and his three European ladies. So I always joke with her and laugh about that. But Aquarius is going to be a lot of Leo risings will have culturally a woman from a different background. It could be, it could be a throuple with two Japanese ladies. Maybe he's Irish. It doesn't matter, but there is an energy of freedom and liberation, or just having a very sovereign, independent marriage. They could be married, and so couples are married and live in two different homes, or they're married and they live in two different beds. That's Leo rising, Aquarius, North Node, seventh house. That could happen. And it's okay. It's nobody's business, y'all. This could be same-sex couple. Juno and Pluto are here now, right? We're just reversing the ascendant. Juno Aquarius, your Aquarius Sun Moon Rising friend that's never been married and getting married at 49 or 52 for the first time, they're up to bat. That may be them. The old gay couple in your neighborhood that was, everybody knew they were gay, but they just acted like they were friends and this and that. They may come out and get married now. Your uncle that was mysteriously single his whole life, and you just, oh, I love your yellow and purple shoes, Uncle Rod, right? He may decide to tell the family now, like, yeah, well, I've been, married to Bruce or living with Bruce for 20 years. Oh, okay. There's no judgment. And I say it in humorous ways because we can all relate to it, and it's okay. We got to get out of this place, y'all, of thinking that we're self-righteous. And I'm talking about all of us, me, you, anybody, any religion, that we're different or better, that we have the right to point the finger at others. That's not my place to tell you who to love and who to marry and who to be with, right? And even if, to me, as long as somebody's not hurting children, that's all it's about. Because I'm going to tell you something. With this Leo rising and the South Node and Jupiter there's going to be a lot of children that are going to get freed. And there's going to be a lot of children that are coming up to speak out, not just against Jeffrey or Donald or Elon or Bill or Mr. Gates or anybody. They're going to be speaking up against everybody, from the Vatican to the Boy Scouts to the Girl Scouts to this organization to that. You remember starting in the late 80s throughout all the 90s and 2000s, everybody started to out the Catholic Church. All the news articles, the documentaries, we've seen a bunch of them. It's just the tip of the iceberg. This is a global network. So I can't say too much, but you know that you know that you know. And Jupiter conjunct the South Node, it's going to bring some freedom and liberation, spirituality for the children. Okay? I got a boogie. Virgo Rising. For the Virgo Rising, we're dealing with the Aquarius in the sixth house, the North Node. and the Leo South Node. Your daily routine, there may be karmic debt to service to humanity. You may feel that you got to start keeping apples in your bag or your purse. When you see homeless people, you just give them food, not money. And think about when they take away the cash, how could you help people, right? When I was in New York, I was laughing. The vendors and people in the street, they're like, "Oh yeah, I take Venmo and Cash App because you got homeless people with cell phones." Okay, that's how you know Americans are not really poor. When you got homeless people with an iPhone, okay, we don't know poverty in this country because there's people who they got dirt in their hand in Haiti and they eat dirt, mounds of dirt. So I'm not saying that in America we can't take care of homeless people and we shouldn't look out for them, whether it's Skid Row or in the streets of any city. But we just got to have perspective that we don't really know poverty in this nation. You know what I'm saying? Um, when a homeless, oh, you could Venmo me, you could Cash App me. I'm like, oh Lord, okay. Woo, Lord have mercy. But the Aquarius North Node, this is the parasite cleanse, Virgo risings. You got to get your diet right because nobody's got more digestive issues than a Virgo Sun Moon rising. That's part of your story. And the Leo South Node and Jupiter, you are going to become the spiritual guru and the mentor. You got to get into your dreams because your ancestors want to bring you divine providence. They want to guide you. They want to inspire you. What's your hidden talent, Virgo risings? Communicating from your heart chakra. I got a child with this. He was a childhood actor. South Node Leo. It was easy for him. He was freaking brilliant. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Aquarius North Node, sixth house. Right? So this is where we can get into maybe you're changing your diet to become a fruitarian, breatharian, eating better. But your daily routine, you're going to need to be tapped in. There's going to be more truth and revelation. You're going to be wanting to consume things about technology and science. Just make sure it's aligning with your heart, Virgo risings. Libra risings. Now, you know you got the Venus retrograde coming up in October to November in your first and second house. So just be mindful. You got the Aquarius North Node in your fifth house. The battle of how much technology do you let your children have? But are you willing to teach them robotics and coding, automation? And make sure they take AI classes. If they're going to use it, let it not just be for scrolling in games. Let them, Libra Rising, let your children learn it. You tap in to the mystery schools and the ancient wisdom and knowledge, Libra Risings. That's going to really serve you. Transform how you teach your children. Transform, maybe you start making numerology and astrology jewelry. Maybe you were like, yeah, oh, you're teaching your astrology class, Eric, in February 2027. I'm signing up. Maybe I don't want to be a professional astrologer, but I want to learn and understand this for me and my tribe and my parents and my siblings and my kids and my family. I want to be able to do and read a chart, at least on a basic level, so that I know what the heck is going on. I'm going to start Libra risings. I'm going to start tracking the moon. I want to understand that I am literally a different human every 2.5 days. And what does that mean for my body, health, and intuition? I want to do your moon tracking service. That fifth house, I need to have a spiritual relationship with my older sibling. I may get married and have a stepchild. Jupiter here in its planetary joy, Libra risings, you may get that extreme wealth in that bag this year. Your long-term investments may go off the chain. Maybe you invested in Nvidia and Lockheed Martin and you know, whatever else. Maybe you hit with some Bitcoin. You were one of the early people in there. It's probably a Ponzi scheme, so I'd get out before it crashes completely, even though it's already been going down so much. But maybe you're on the cutting edge of the XRP and Ethereum and XLM. Maybe you've been investing in gold. But this Jupiter and South Node here, Libra Risings, maybe you decide to start teaching over the internet from your heart chakra, sharing the truth, being generous, showing people how to make money from their homes, showing people how to earn money over the internet, Libra Risings. Maybe that's your calling. But Jupiter Leo, it's dynamic, but it's all around the heart chakra and generosity, especially with the South Node at this transit, at this time, 18 months. We all know when our heart's not right. The greatest lies, you guys, are the ones we tell to ourselves. It's not external with governments and kings and leaders. I mean, forget them. We got to get like in that mirror, in our prayer closet, in our hearts, in our souls, and be authentic and love ourselves and not ever lie to ourselves. We know when we're being lazy. I know when I'm eating wrong. And promise me, all of you, when that moon comes back to your natal sun, try it. If you've never tried my spiel of 48 to 60 hours of no drugs, no sex, no meat, no alcohol, no cursing, intermittent fasting, eating lighter, more fruits and veggies, when the moon once a month goes back to your natal sun, in this chart, Capricorns, try it. Like Mikey, you just may like it, right? You remember Mikey with the cereal? So try it. I've been doing it. And trust me, even with my knowledge, there's some times when the moon's in Virgo, and because I'm being lazy or whatever, or I'm not paying attention, that I've eaten like crap. Ooh, Lord, I regretted it. When that moon's in Virgo, I better be pristine. No cookies and cream ice cream. I better be pristine what I'm putting in my boca. Because if not, you pay the price. And you'll have 2 days, you're like, daggone, my stomach is jacked. So please, Libra Risings and everybody, pay attention to that. Scorpio Risings, you know, it's your 4th house, your 10th house. What are you intentionally doing in your home, your emotional mind, honoring your mother's lineage, your ancestors? Maybe you explore, right? Maybe I got to take a trip back to Bahamas and tap in, right, to this your mother's lineage. What technology are you allowing in your home? What are you teaching to your children? How are you in the stages of life, from retirement or to your midlife? How are you, vibrating? Are you getting more crystals? Are you studying and learning? Like, oh wow, Queen Bee teaches us all this stuff. Am I applying my numerology lessons? Right? I changed the number on my door to change the frequency and energy in my house. A neighbor came by, oh, what's that number on your door? My wife explained it to her. She's like, oh, that makes sense. You'd be surprised, people. You don't know what your neighbors think or believe. You may think that they're this, and that, but they may get down with some feng shui and some numerology and stuff too. Right? Friday, you should be buying flowers. Maybe every Friday or every other Friday, you get your car cleaned. Good energy for your relationships and your money, keeping the car clean. Scorpio Risings, you gotta forgive your father. The South Node, you may have to transform or leave your job or start going independent. You got Jupiter in the South Node there and this Sun. You're Tupac this year, Scorpio Risings. Melissa, Israel, Danny, Eric. All eyes on you in public for your midheaven, your career, your legacy. Shine bright like a diamond. Don't get too teachy and preachy at work, right? You work at a car dealership, maybe nobody wants to hear about meditation, right? But you need to be authentic from your heart chakra. And if someone comes to you and has one iota of a question, you better drop truth and wisdom from your heart with love. That's Jupiter in the 10th house with the South Node, Scorpio risings. It's time. And by nature, Scorpio risings with Saturn and Neptune in the 6th house, you are kind of the lone wolf. You don't really love the limelight, but the limelight's coming for you this year. Jupiter in the 10th house, you got to embrace it. So even though you're private, Scorpio risings, you got to step out on this stage, be the man or woman in the arena. It's not always easy, but it's time. The Aquarius North Node, use the tools and the technology that can help you, right? Emotionally in your mind, have the freedom and liberation. Sagittarius risings and America's chart. Aquarius, North Node in your 3rd house. The North Node in 3rd house can sometimes create a little bullying effect, especially in the natal birth chart. Transit a little different, but what are you doing on social media? What are you doing with younger siblings? The adult relationship with your mother? Are you paying off karmic debt? Are you teaching mom about, hey, mom, let's eat a little bit more fruit. I want to get you off that diabetes medicine, ma. I want you to be feeling a little bit better. Why don't you keep this crystal in your purse, mom? It may help you, right? You, why don't you put a Scorpio, you put a Scorpio crystal in your bed, Sag risings, right? You gotta maybe share a little message. Aquarius pours out the wisdom and knowledge that it gained in Sagittarius season on your younger siblings, cousins, your neighbors, your mother, your local community on social media, right? Maybe in your job in advertising, you start, telling them like, well, let's not launch this day because it's a bad day based on the numerology. Really? Oh, I never heard of that. Tell me more about that, Stephanie or Michael. That sounds brilliant. Well, you got the Leo and Jupiter in your 3rd house. You may move. You may go back to school. Maybe you're going back to get that master's, that PhD, that college degree, that nursing degree. Sag risings, you're gonna travel this year. You may need to write that book or publish it this year. The universe is calling you. Step out on the stage to be the mentor, to guide and teach from your heart. People want to listen to you, Sag risings. They do. And this South Node and Jupiter, maybe you release the dogmatic organized religion beliefs. Maybe you get a grandchild this year that is freaking a beta, no joke, ascendant master. And you're like, whoa, look at this child. They're like crawling and they're like, 10 months old. They'll start talking and walking. You're like, what? You don't know what to expect from these little beta babies. These Pluto Aquarius babies, ooh, if you're around any of them, you like, they are something else. They're coming from different dimensions and realms, y'all. They're magical. The alphas are impressive too, but these little beta babies, I've only been around a few, but when I see them, I'm like, oh, I see you, little one. I know you about that life. You're not here for no foolishness. Okay? They are source. They are galactic. Okay? So Sag risings, write your book, be the teacher, be the mentor, and maybe you travel for knowledge this year. You're not just going to Puerto Rico for sunbathing. You're going to Peru. You're going to what is it? I think it's Bosnia has the largest pyramid. You're going to learn and experience and research. You're going to Grand Canyon, right? You're going on one of those rafting tours for a week in the Grand Canyon. You're going for 3 weeks. They got 3 week tours. You're doing it. Okay, Sag risings. That's you. Freedom and adventure. That's your ascendant. And last but not least, Capricorn risings with the moon in your ascendant. You're not hiding your emotions this year, Cap risings. Everyone's seeing it written all over your face. You got Aquarius in your 2nd house. You need to eat differently. You need to speak differently. You need to earn money differently. You do need the robotics and the coding and automation. You do need to master the AI. You do need to learn the esoteric occult knowledge and talk about it. You will be weird and unusual to your family, the North Node. Remember, the North Node, Rahu is different. It's like Uranus. It's tilted. It's bizarre. But it's going to consume what it desires. And in Aquarius, it's desiring. Capricorn Risings may meet an alien this year, right? They're like, oh, hey, you want to come to the family cookout? Oh, yeah, come on. I mean, in this 18-month transit, and I said this lately, but I just want to repeat it here. You shouldn't be surprised by anything, right? If you look outside your window and you see Bigfoot dancing with a mermaid and a fairy is watching, just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Wednesday. Like, please, nothing should surprise you. Don't be surprised by anything. And Capricorn risings, yeah, you know. And this may be a hard pill to swallow. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And I'm not saying that people are born like this. I don't know. But we may have, you guys have heard the term non-player characters, NPCs. You may have NPCs in your family. Could be your spouse, your mom, your grandparent, your child. I don't know how you determine this except for the cognitive dissonance, and you'll see they're programmed. Like they can't question anything. They live by CBS, NBC, ABC, PBS, Fox, CNN. They live by my government, my daddy. They live by, well, it was in the Wall Street Journal, and I believe that. It was in the New York Times. I don't know if a soul comes here and chooses that to not awaken, to not see the matrix assimilation. That's something that we have to think about, pontificate about, debate, or whatever. Maybe we'll just get the revelation. I don't know. But I'm not here to judge it. I know I got NPCs in my family. I still love them. But that may be a hard pill for some of us to swallow. It's okay. You can't control your children. You can't control your siblings and their journey. What they are selecting, this is their soul assignment and mission, not yours. That's why I tell you, look at your parents' birth charts, have compassion and empathy. You don't know what your parents went through until you look at their chart. And for some of you don't have birth times, anybody watching in the collective or the replay, I've helped clients figure out the birth time of their parents, even when they're gone, because they lived a life and a story. So you can figure it out. I can figure it out. It only costs you $20 extra, the rectification of the birth chart. I highly recommend it because when you see your parents, you see yourself. You understand. When I saw my mother and my father stelliums, I was like, oh, snap. That's where I got my Virgo stellium from. My dad's got the wild Aries stellium in the ninth. My mom has the wild Taurus stellium in the third. I understand. Capricorn risings, you got Jupiter in the south node in your eighth house. Do you know? Like this is the doula, the death doula, the midwife. This is you activating your gifts of mediumship. And Cancer risings too.
Wait, what?
The gift of mediumship may get active. Okay. Where you know when the souls are coming or leaving. Okay. This is where you may, be like, it's my job to be the midwife.
Surprising.
Or the doula, right? This is where Cap rising.
I heard Brian behind us.
Okay, just mute yourself for me, Eden. But this is where Cap risings. Jupiter. You got to share your wisdom, beliefs, and knowledge about the esoteric occult knowledge. Teach people about the crystals and herbs. Teach people about pre and probiotics, about the minerals and the gems, the benefits energetically. Show them. the hidden esoteric occult knowledge in eighth house is not just the knowledge of the mystery schools and Santeria, Brujeria, the Yoruba. It's also how to use these herbs, like we learned last night from Joseph, how to do the foresting.
Have you
Capricorn
had a
Rising,
fun?
Capricorn Risings, your wealth and knowledge is going to be very powerful. Okay. Just hit mute for me as I wind down for me. Okay. Hit mute. So Jupiter in the eighth house.
Pretty much everything the gym has to offer. They can take advantage of just that healthcare.
Okay. Eden, can you hear me, Eden? Eden, can you hit mute? Okay. So that's really powerful, Capricorn risings. Okay. But the South Node, do it with love. Don't get overly teachy and preachy and overly, because remember, Jupiter in Leo, it's going to make us extra dramatic. We're going to be extra Leo. That's why you got to watch out for the bloviating and arrogance and the ego and being self-centered for the Leo Sun and Rising with Jupiter there for this year. Okay. We have to be mindful of that. But the South Node wants everything to be very spiritual. So yeah, not only could the medium gifts come up, but you need to share what you know about the truth of the mysteries of the world. Okay. And that takes us back to the original chart, the Aquarius risings, and just the last thing for Aquarius risings, with the Pluto on the ascendant, you may deal with, and the North Node there, a lot of people pointing the finger at you, telling you that you're weird and unusual, or they're jealous or envious of you. Pluto in the first and the 12th house, even for the Pisces risings, you can attract narcissists at this time, spiritually and right up in your face. Aquarius risings. There's a time for the parasite cleanse, and spiritual connections, the South Node, in relationships, marriages, and business partnerships. Remember that. Okay. But Jupiter's here. Aquarius risings could get married this year. Jupiter in Leo, Aries risings can have children this year. So if you don't want them, take precautions. If you do want them, have at it. But I just want you guys to really get that this transit is for us to vibrate authentically, to show up. You don't have to do the illusion and the filters. Ladies, you don't need to have perfect makeup. The secret that men want you to really know is that we like you more natural. We don't really like all the makeup anyway. I would say 75 to 80% of men do not. There's some men they do, and I don't want to get into that, but whatever. But authenticity is going to be your card, your calling card. And it's not even just for this 18th month transit. It's just that's the vibration of the age of Aquarius. So that's good for all of us real people who've been real our whole lives and been kind of like feeling like we were the underdogs and feeling less than. This is like freedom and power to the people, the revolutionaries. You're seeing revolutions happening all over the world. They're going to continue to happen. Truth and revelation is going to come out in ways that you've never fathomed before. And there's going to be some more happening in this month of July that's going to be big. Right? Remember, he used to say bigly? It's going to be bigly. Big truth and revelation for the collective. And it is time for us to recognize our sovereignty, that we have never had freedom and liberation. We've had the illusion of it. But you have to have it within first. And you have it with the self-love. You have it with the truth. So no more lying to ourselves. And we're not perfect. We can all have a bad day of too much sweets and potato chips and, eating crappy. It's all right. But what you don't do is dwell on it and beat yourself up and talk bad about yourself, right? Like what did Aaliyah say? You dust yourself off and try again. So then tomorrow you do better. The next day you do better. Just try. Like I tell you, I'd rather you connect, be still, be quiet, and meditate 5 minutes a day, every day, than twice a week for 30 minutes or an hour. It's the consistency, it's the discipline. And this Capricorn moon in the 12th house is telling us be disciplined in the spiritual realm, be disciplined in the privacy of your bedrooms, be disciplined in your subconscious mind. Put in the work, it will serve you and it will pay off for you. The Capricorn moon at this time is here for a reason. God did this, not me. And as a Cap moon, I will tell you, it will be your get out of jail free card. Who's in prison? The people that were not able to be disciplined and control their emotions. I tell my boys every day, when you lose control of your emotions, and as a man, but as a woman too, if you cannot control how you emotionally react and respond and have discipline over your mind and your body, they have a place for them, those people, and it's called prison or jail. And this right here is not just the physical prison and jail. This is also the spiritual prison and jail. That Capricorn moon in the 12th house for this 18th month transit. Honor it. Honor it for your spiritual discipline and practice. And then we will meet each other on the other side when we got to do this again in 18 months for the Capricorn North Node. And you will thank me later. And the Leo South Node and Jupiter there for this year, this is to expand your heart chakra, expand your generosity, your love, your self-love. Expand that we are all regal kings and queens, and we need to conduct ourselves that way. Be classy. Never let them see you sweat. Be classy. Right? They've tested me plenty of times. They've wanted me to lose my stuff and go to jail or prison, messing with my kids. I cannot be there for my wife and kids in jail or prison. I break no rules, break no laws, and I stay classy. You have to. And I hope you understand that. In the South Node in Leo, we can't be selfish and self-centered for this duration of this transit and arrogant. It's not going to serve you. And in the 7th house for Aquarius Risings, but for this chart, it's going to separate you from the marriages, relationships, and business partnerships. And guess what? This can lead to a lot of divorces for Aquarius Risings or people. Because if your partner, the other half, is being all in their ego and arrogant, and there's no heart connection, then this may need to be purged, detox, released, and severed. We're in the time of love. Love is the get out of jail free card. The human design prophecy gets activated in 2027 with this alignment. There are no accidents. It's beautiful. So vibrate in love, vibrate in authenticity, find your tribe, step up and be a sovereign contributor and leader in your tribe. It's time to speak the truth from your heart, activate the heart, the throat chakra. No more staying quiet. God wants to hear from each one of you, here and on a replay and in the collective. Now, it doesn't mean everybody should be spitting rhymes, though, but it does mean that everybody should be communicating authentically from their heart chakras. You have a story to tell. You have a message. You have a book to write. You have journals, and maybe you don't share with anybody. But in that letter that you write of forgiveness, and we have to forgive ourselves. Some of us blame ourselves for some of our traumas. It is not your fault. You were touched. You were sexually assaulted. You were physically assaulted. It is not your fault. I don't care if you were wearing the wrong outfit or skirt. I don't care if you were in the wrong neighborhood and this and that. No, it is not your fault. You are free. Forgive yourself and love yourself. We are not victims in the 3D or 5D. Stop blaming mommy for everything. Stop blaming daddy. Your parents did the best they could, and some of them did not try good enough or hard enough, but you got to learn their chart to know what the heck they were dealing with. And we have more tools and opportunities at this time than ever in every time in world history for self-help, for getting ourselves right. Our ancestors didn't have that. You better not cry. I'll give you something to cry about. We all heard that, right? It's a different time, you guys. So we have to have grace, mercy, compassion, and empathy for others and for ourselves. Neptune, Aries. You have to have it. We all fall short of the glory, and nobody is perfect. That is for God source creator. Virgo risings, did you hear me say that? Okay. While this Virgo South Node is still at 0 degrees until July 26th, we still must continue to purge, release, and detox. It's conjunct the Venus and trine Taurus Chiron. We all got too much in our closet. I'm about to get to it this weekend. We got to donate some clothes and throw some stuff out. If you don't let go and release some things, how is something new supposed to come in? And that could be for a partner. That could be for your shoes. It could be for your clothing. It could be some people got 4 cars in their garage and some of them are junk cars. Like, let it go, right? We have to purge, release, and detox. And in Virgo, it's also those bad foods. Stop going to McDonald's. Stop eating crap. Stop eating stuff that you know. You know. We all know. We're big boys and big girls. We all know when we putting trash in our mouths, and you feel it. Tap into your Lilith. Your Lilith will activate your gut. Pay attention to it. I don't care if it's an earth, air, fire, water sign. Go watch my Black Moon Lilith video and go watch the house video and do that in your chart and learn to work with that energy. If you are not in tune with your body and your system, it's time. You need to know. My Lilith's in Virgo. The minute I eat something, I know if it's good, bad, or indifferent for my digestion and my stomach. I'm like, oh, as I'm chewing and swallowing, I'm like, oh, no. You got to be in tune like that. And the sign of the Lilith in the house will help you to get in tune if you're not in tune. The tools are out here for all of us. We've got to start using them, y'all. Be intentional. You're not the tissue in the wind. We got to stop that. You're not the victim. You are powerful beyond imagination. It's in all the ancient books. It's in all the tablets. It's in all the teachings. And guess what? That junk DNA that science calls junk DNA, that's what's awakening at this time. Get out there in the sun, let it awaken. Get out there in nature, talk to the trees, the mycelium network, the wisdom they have, it's for you. You better ask about them trees. You better ask about the mushrooms in the mycelium network. I know I was a little passionate and intense, but I hope you all felt it because it was all like just from the chart and from my heart. But I just want us to get more into the love and more into the authenticity. It's your calling card. It really is. It's spiritually backed. It's science backed. It's downloaded backed. It's everything. And I think we all can learn a little bit from our Aquarius Leo friends in terms of just that joy and exuberance that you see from a Leo, that passion. They are here on Earth. They're alive. We can learn from that. That weird, bizarre, unique genius thinking outside the box, authentic energy from Aquarius. We can learn from that. You're one of one. And don't let them clone you. But you are one of one. Like, you know, I mean, and that's the one thing I love about the Aquarius energy. You know what I mean? They're built that way. And we all need a little bit of that. The purity of the Leo. I mean, some of us, we need to be a little bit more that swaggadocious that Leos have. They wake up like that. Like, you know, my kids can get in trouble or, you know, in punishment, or, you know, Lana and I get upset with them and, you know, do this and this. Shoot, sometimes it's 20 minutes later, but definitely the next day, they don't even remember that it happened. They're like, hey, you know, they're just like, hey, you know, I was angry with you yesterday and this and that, but you can't, that's what I'm saying. You really can't even stay angry or bothered or upset by a Leo. It's the sun. It's pure joy. It's pure love. Those are lessons that we need to learn. You know what I mean? The joy, the purity of a child. That's why Venus is exalted in the 5th house. Jupiter is exalted in the 11th house. Be more authentic, right? Jupiter, Aquarius, and you could have any sign in the 11th house, but think of it, the association to Aquarius. Jupiter's planetary joy is in the 11th house. Be more you. And you will get your hopes, dreams, and wishes, and the gold and the riches. Venus, 5th house, the heart chakra, the Leo energy. Create and love and value from your heart like you're a kid again. Now you see why I tell you Aquarius and Leo, we all can learn from them and their connection to source. I didn't make it up that Jupiter's planetary joy is in the 11th house and Venus's planetary joy is in the 5th house. That's all God, you guys. Do you know how beautiful that is when you really zoom out and then zoom back in to see that? The two benefics are associated with the 11th and 5th house, the paradigm of Aquarius and Leo. That sums it up in a nutshell. Right? I love that. Bing bong. Pay attention. All right, bye.
All right,
Enjoy
bye,
your time.
y'all. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
I'll send it out in a little bit. Bye.